Hey, Period 8, I just wanted to say hello and review what is in store for you May 4th through the 8th, and that is week 8 of distance learning. And that doesn't really count spring break, of course. Anyway, so we're on the home page. You're going to click on the welcome, and that's going to take you to the distance learning hyperdoc that is embedded here, as you already know. All right. I'm going to scroll down to week 8. And here we go. Week 8, May 4th through the 8th. Okay. So on May the 4th, may the 4th be with you. All right, pardon that bad joke. So assignment 1, and this is something that you all should have done several weeks ago. Like I want to say week 4, and I'm not sure why it wasn't done, and some of you still haven't. All right, you were to fill out some forms to share the link of 2 different documents. Then I said last week, please just share the documents with me to my email. And those 2 documents are DWP, the daily writing prompts, and the independent book project tracking form. All right. So Caitlin and Sitlali, thank you. You shared your DWP document, and then for the independent book tracking form, Sitlali was the only one that shared. So thank you to the 2 of you, but the rest of you need to share that document with me. Just send it to my email. That's all you need to do. It's a live document. You will never have to share it with me again. I will be attaching comments and feedback, so you'll have to look periodically to see what comments and grade you got. And you may be able to get a better grade by fixing and adjusting based on my comments. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Both of these documents, they are for grades, and you see that in PowerSchool. Okay. And what I'm doing with the DWPs, I'm looking at 3 at a time. 3 at a time. So what does that actually mean? In terms of the DWP, so that's a total of 10 points per 3. So for example, you had prompts 15 through 17. So I grouped that as 1, and that's all worth 10 points. 18 through 20, grouping that together, that's all worth 10 points. You get the picture. With the independent book project tracking form, all right, I'm also grouping that in 3s. And those are worth 10 points each. So each prompt, each entry, same thing, is worth 10 points. All right. So that makes, so for example, prompts 1 through 3, all right, 10 points each, that's 30 points. All right. So that's really going to add up. Prompts 5 through 7, 10 points each, that's 30. So you'll see that in PowerSchool as well. It's already there. Okay. So for those of you that did not share those documents with me, okay, do it. Okay, please, and thank you. For the rest of the week, all right, Wednesday and Friday class, assignment 1, okay, whichever period you have with me for regular English, work on those required assignments. Okay, I did that last week, and I'm embedding it in for this week as well. Okay. Assignment 2, okay, continue reading your book. I don't know exactly where you're at with your book, all right, and I know there's a way for me to find that out. It's very simple, okay, but if you're not very far, okay, spend 15 to 30 minutes a day, all right. We're going through some crazy stuff right now with, staying at home, quarantine. So read your book, escape for a while. I think that's a pretty sound and safe idea, okay? So continue reading your book, please, because assignment 2 leads into assignment 3. Okay. So I already have your final assignment already created, and it's instructing you to go to modules, and I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to show you where to go. And the biggest thing is that you want to prepare now. All right. It's going to be a presentation, and I'm using the video platform called Flipgrid. And that is going to be available starting May 18th. So that gives you time to finish your book, complete the prompts in the tracking form, and how you're going to present this information using this video platform site. Okay, so let's go over there. So you're going to go over to modules, and then from there, go to independent book project module, and the third one down, independent book project final assignment number 1, Flipgrid. Okay. Here it gives you all the instructions. It says record a 7 to 10 minute review of the independent book you read in the last 6+ weeks. So this is all a review. All right. And there's 4 categories in which you are responding. I would highly suggest, I think this is probably the best means only, is to write down the question and answering them on a separate sheet of paper before you present on the Flipgrid website. So number 1, a short plot summary of the book. All right. What happened in the book? What did the characters do? What was the main conflict? Okay. Number 2, review of your book. Did you like it? Would you recommend it? What kind of person would recommend reading this? Things you did not like, things you would have changed if it was up to you, etc. Okay. The third category, connection to the book you have read previously. So what book or books, and we can go beyond that. It could be maybe a different kind of text that you have read before that relate to this book. Does the book remind you of any other book you've read? This could be similarity in characters, how the book is written, the setting, etc. Now, if you're saying to yourself, well, no, I have not read a book that connects to the book I've been reading. All right, well, maybe it is a documentary, a movie, or maybe it was an article you read online. All right, just be specific. And then the last thing is the tracking form. So the tracking form has several prompts. What you're going to do is select one of the prompts from the tracking form and respond to those questions. So I would choose a prompt in which you explain and elaborated thoroughly. All right. Plus, it has some interest that you want to present this information. It's not just pulling a prompt out of a hat and going from there. I would not recommend doing that. So you want to read how this is going to be graded. I'm going to use the rainbow rubric. All right. This final assignment is worth 50 points. Okay. It's going to ask you to load Flipgrid in a new window. And when you do, it may ask you to log in using your CV account. If it doesn't, it'll just go right here. Okay. So the instructions that are here are over here. All right. I know right here it says read the 3 criteria, but that should really be 4. Okay. And then when you're ready, you'll record a response. So you record it. Now, if you don't want to show your face, you don't have to. It's about speaking. All right. And on your end, you should see the rubric. However, if you don't, it may show up after when you submit the video. And if you goof up during the video or whatever, you can go back and you can fix it. Okay. It's a pretty user-friendly site for those that are making these recordings. The rubric. Let me show you the rubric on my end. So you're going to be evaluated on preparedness, speaking, and subject knowledge. So with preparedness, the criteria description. The student is completely prepared and has obviously rehearsed. So again, you should write down all the questions and respond to it on a separate sheet of paper before you present. All right. So this is all about preparedness, rehearsal. Minimum score is a 1, max is a 5. Okay. Speaking standard. Okay. So you're presenting the information to those questions. All right. And you're using supporting evidence. All right. You're not just saying, oh, this is a good book and that's it. All right. You want to explain and elaborate, and that means pulling some evidence from your book. Okay. You're speaking clearly. All right. So that listeners can understand and, of course, follow along. Same thing, minimum score 1, max score is 5. And then finally, subject knowledge. This is where that where'd it go? There it is. That you show a full understanding of the topic and you explain and elaborate fully. So if we go back to the questions, all right, you are explaining and elaborating what's happening in the book, what the characters did, right? Why you would recommend it, what in the book would be would resonate with readers. Okay, so again, the biggest thing is pulling evidence that support your claims to these questions. All right, and that you are doing so thoroughly. Okay. And I will tell you this, that when you go back to this, you'll see that the load button is no longer there. But if you look here, right, it was loaded. So if it's like, oh, I got rid of it, like, oops, I closed it out here. You just reload this page and it will magically reappear. Okay. And there it is right here. Okay. And again, I'm not so sure about the rubric in terms of if you could see it before you start recording. Either way, since I'm not sure, I will include the language to the rubric over here and it's not here right now, of course, but I will edit this information. Okie dokie. And that pretty much is it for week 8, May 4th through the 8th. But now that you know what it says final assignment number 1, I may have another one added to it. That's why I included number 1, but I may not. So don't even sweat it. Just focus on finishing your book, finishing the tracking form, and preparing for these questions. Okie dokie. That should do it, folks. You know how to reach me, so please do so if you have a question. All right, thanks a lot.